Yes.
Is that me?
I don't know. You got to turn. It might be coming from.
Yeah, I think it's my fan. Hold on.
Yeah.
I got a Belinda problem.
All right, guys. We are live. We are live right now, and this is our very first Strange World live show. And thank you all for joining us this evening. I'm looking at these numbers right now. The numbers are growing. It's 11 p.m. where we are. I'm not sure where in other parts of the world tuning in. Thank you so much for joining us. This is our very first AMA session, mid season AMA session, where we want to answer some questions that you guys have posted, and also it's live now because if you have any questions, you want to reach out to us. Just go for it, okay? Crystal Ang, who was here very early on and now she's back, saying hello and good evening, gentlemen, and good evening to you too, Crystal.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, so get your questions ready. The number just jumped up right now. We have some sudden burst of viewers coming in.
Nice.
Now, as I was saying to the boys with us, we have Dr. Yong in the middle, looking really hip hop, and also Mary Mike.
Hello.
Every time I run a live show, how do I feel about this? It's never ever been about the eyeballs for me. If you realize it, it's always been for that one person who's watching. That's the person that matters. So I don't care if there's 100, there's 10. If you are tuning in, this show is for you because we know you appreciate us and we want to return that privilege of being able to host for you. And I think tonight that's what we are doing here. The three of us. I know Dr. Yong has been rushing around, finishing his workshop right before coming online. Marrying Mike as well, putting his kid to bed and coming online with us. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for watching us, and thank you, host, for being with me tonight. Cheers.
And Eugene, although it's 10, 100 eyeballs, one day will be 500 million.
One day.
Oh,
One
this
day.
guy. Yeah, getting the good vibrations out
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to pinpoint why I was having this strange sound feedback. Then I realized, oh yeah, we're live. So the YouTube is playing. And
Correct. You got to shut off YouTube. Correct.
Yeah, this is such a new perspective for me.
Oh, welcome to the live show. I've been a bit jaded, I suppose, because I've been doing live for so many years, pre-COVID and now. Say a quick shout out to Seahawk85, RSVP by Grace, Dore Meme, Joel YJK, MRCJXD1, all for tuning in right now. Hello, Eugene and everyone. Please like and share the stream. Oh, yeah, please do. We have 43 concurrent viewers. That's really 42 more than I expect.
Thank you for the support, everyone.
Yes. And as always, if you want to support us, there's a $ button on the chat function. You can just click on it, put in any amount you want. A big bright box will appear and we can see your comments. You join us as a YouTube channel member if you want to. It's $3 only. $1 goes to YouTube, $2 goes to me. Or if you want to support us on a more long-term basis, join us as Patreon. That's a patreon.com/supernatural confessions. So many ways to support your favorite channel. And we keep this content going for you guys absolutely free, almost 4 to 5 times a week. Okay, so Mary Mike, do us the honors. What is the Strange World about, and what are we here for today?
Oh, okay. Oh, this is the first time I'm getting a question. Usually I'm the one that's giving the questions. Okay.
Now you know what it feels like.
Yeah, well, I would say Strange World is our chance to discuss, or rather deep dive into all the the unexplainable, the paranormal and the metaphysical, because I think a lot of this are mostly connected. And we've done already 5. How many? I cannot count anymore.
We've done 6.
Yeah,
We have
6.
2
Yeah.
more. That's going to be out next week and the week after.
Yeah, that's right. So with 6 episodes, we figured that there have been a lot of questions that were going on, and I felt that it was a good time to kind of like use a season break to kind of go through some of the questions, and also to allow the community to ask us anything as well.
Yeah.
So this is why tonight we are on live just to do that. And also don't mind me. I know I'm a bit slow because I'm trying not to be too loud because everyone's asleep in this
I think you're
house.
fine. You're fine. But Dr. Yong, when we first started, actually, you were the pioneer with me starting on this together. Before Strange World, the first iteration was science versus spirituality, and then that started Doctor Deep Dive into divinity, and then one thing led to another. I'm so proud to see you running your own workshops now. Doing meditation class. I've been involved in some of them myself, and I had the time, and I know the people who were attending your workshop, and they said it was extremely effective. So since the time we started then till now, like, how's it been for you? The journey with SC.
Yeah. Thanks, Eugene. I think Eugene caught me for lunch. Like I think it was 2023 June, and he was Grace had picked up my Penanggalan story or Balan story in on a homeschooling Facebook group, and then Eugene pinged me, and then we had lunch, and that resulted in two different interviews, and from there, um, sort of he gave me the push and also the confidence to step out into this. And it was also coincides with my sort of slowly parting ways with the straight and narrow medical profession. And then since then, I've started my coaching career in December 2023. It's been 1 year now. And the journey has been challenging yet exciting, enlightening. And as one of my, because some of you may know, right, that I actually have this shame and guilt that I carry with me for quite long for, turning my back towards my profession. And I would always wonder what would people think, this person, he left the pharmaceutical, medical intervention world and now talks about the woo, talks about spirituality, talks about energy, and what is this guy up to? And I would perceive, how would my colleagues see me, how would my superiors see me, until one day one of my clients told me that not to worry. Previously, you were saving lives. Now, with what you do with the mental, emotional, spiritual work, you are saving souls.
Woo!
No, I
I
think
love
So,
it.
when I heard that, right, it's like a balm, a salve
Yeah.
for my heart, and I felt that this is the way to go. I perhaps I'm feeling a gap, where something is missing, and I'm bridging that gap a little bit as much as I can, and I'm learning along the way. So I
Okay.
thank everyone
Wow.
who has been supporting me on the way, and Eugene for kicking my butt hard at the start. Yeah, thank you.
Wow. And where can we find Holistic Human if you want to search more about
Holistic.
you?
Yeah, Holistic Human is on YouTube as well. It's a Holistic Human podcast. It talks about what brings out the best in us. How do we bring our best performance, whether it's mentally, emotionally, spiritually,
Yeah.
or even physically. Physical wise, I interviewed this gentleman who did an Ironman for 6 times. And for example, so those are what the topics you can expect from there. Yeah.
So has Strange World been a challenge for you, or is it still easy breezy?
I'm afraid like I'm running out of brain juice after the first season, but hopefully not. Yeah. um,
Okay.
yeah, I think so far it has been how would I say? My experiences have fit into the episodes pretty well.
Hmm.
So I'm also looking for future challenges so that I can learn more and grow more from it. Yes, thanks.
I guess that much of that thanks got to go to Mary Mike, who's really the show. In a way, she's a show producer. He researches, he puts the show notes together, and
yeah.
sometimes while he gives us the show notes, there are times in the show notes where he blanks it out. He just put a smiley face there,
Yeah.
and those are the freestyling part where Dr. Young and I have no idea what's going on. He'll curveball us and catch us on the spot, and I guess that's kind of like the fun that we have, and that's why when you are watching us doing our show, it's always been very organic. Although it's pre-recorded, it's not live. The only reason for that is most times as three fathers, we are not able to commit to a dedicated live show like a FNL thing where every Friday night we are going to log on. Like tonight was actually particularly stressful for us to make it
Hmm.
happen. Yeah.
Yes,
I got questions out already so far from people like Dory Memes asking, will there be episodes on UFOs?
Yeah, I was going to mention what is UAP?
Unmanned aerial something. Is a new
No,
name
no,
for
no,
UFOs, right?
no, no. Okay, so according to NASA website,
Yeah.
it's unidentified anomalous
Oh
phenomena.
yeah, yeah. Another word for UFOs lah.
Oh, lights in the sky, lah. I think.
Yeah. Cryptids as well. I think those. Okay, so we covered cryptids and on the fringe many moons ago. I'm not sure we're gonna cover cryptids for Strange World. Maybe as a mention. Uh, then probably we need to get a zoologist in.
mentioned Pakawara, I think.
Sorry, mention what?
We did mention Chupacabra, I think, in one
Chupacabra.
of the
Yes,
episodes.
yes. Yes. Thank you. And I cannot see lah. I'm blind. So I better wear glasses.
Anti-hypothesis.
Anti-hypothesis unidentified
Yeah.
aerial phenomena. That's right. Anomalous. Okay. We are going to go through. Gentlemen, I'm not sure whether you have seen the questions that have came in from the audience. Let me just pop this question one by one. Okay. So we're going to go with 1 month ago. I believe this is probably the episode 1. Just a
Yeah.
suggestion. Witchcraft is a white topic. This is from Anthea 1992. Just a suggestion. Witchcraft is a white topic. So I wonder if there can be specialized episodes on protective witchcraft, offensive witchcraft, oriental witchcraft, accidental witchcraft, materials of witchcraft, etc., etc.
Wow. Actually, this is the first time that I hear that there's so many categories. Is the expectation that we would talk about it, or are we supposed to review the different rituals that that could be done?
You want us
And
to put ourselves through it? Is it?
and the way I see it is like white magic and black magic kind of thing. From all that's mentioned over there.
Yeah.
Uh, mm,
Okay. So I don't think my boys know about this, but there was one day um, from an audience of Strange World, she reached out and contacted me. And she says, "I am a witch. Would you
Oh,
like to
nice.
come to my house and see my inner sanctum?" She stays at freaking Pasir fucking Panjang, Ken. So
Go
I made I went.
Okay.
I went and I interviewed her and I got great content out of it. And I asked her, "Are you okay coming onto the show?" And she says yes. So when I was at house, I saw the Seal of Solomon. I saw there's this Belial I can't remember which demon it was, and there was a skull, a goat skull on the table, on the shrine, in the whole
Oh no,
house.
that is no goat, right? That should be Baphomet. There.
Baphomet, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you know your demons.
No lah, no lah. This one
Yeah. So
common knowledge.
so there will be a Strange World interview segment on the witchcraft, and whatever questions I can squeeze in a 1 hour. And if that was not enough, we will be getting her on Strange World as a guest interviewee. Okay.
Cool,
So
cool,
hopefully,
cool.
Anthea,
Nice.
that answers your question.
Actually, going back to this Dory meme, right?
Yeah.
Actually, the cryptids is quite interesting.
What do you mean?
There's quite a lot to go through.
Okay.
Yeah, there's stuff like Bigfoot,
Bigfoot, Yeti.
Yeti, Mothman, Loch Ness monster. There's also Thunderbird, apparently, a giant bird found in Native American legends.
Uh-huh.
And then Skinwalkers, I think that one is quite popular
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Then we've got, let me see, Jersey Devil, a winged horse-headed creature from New Jersey folklore. Oh, we need to find our own. What do you think is the equivalent?
Our side is
Of-
the Bukit Timah Monkey Man.
Wait, what?
Serious?
Yeah, guys. Our Singapore cryptid. Apparently, according to eyewitness account, there was multiple eyewitnesses seeing a monkey-like creature that's the size of a man running across the road from the forest, Bukit Timah. Yeah, Malaysia has mawas. We have
Ah,
Bukit
Yeah,
Timah monkey
orang
man,
mawas.
a smaller mawas, a mawas mini. Yeah. Crystal Ang is asking, are there topics on religion? Because I believe all faith are all interlinked. As do I,
wow,
Crystal. And I think in our show we have touched on Christianity, we have touched
wow,
on a
yeah,
few
man.
religion, but we didn't deep dive into the breakdown of each religion doctrine, if that's what you're asking
I
for.
think I think this one, right. I remember. I think Nas Daily has tried doing that before,
Yeah.
Mm.
and I don't think it was well received.
I think if anyone can do a good job talking about religion, I truly believe it will be the three of us in on Supernatural Confessions. Primarily because the way we
We have very
handle our content so far
yeah.
has been very respectful and very objective. So won't say no if Edwin Tong comes up to us one day and says, Eugene, we would like to support you with the interracial, interfaith harmony funding of 150,000. Will you
Wow.
all cover this topic?
And
Yes. In a
and we have the
say less. We'll do it.
yeah, we have the we have the recipe for a lot of debating already. Lah. I think all three of us have very different views on this.
I mean, Mary Mike is mom is a hardcore
Yeah.
pious Christian. He's Christian, Then we have Dr. Yong, who's a medical doctor, and you know how he talks about big pharma and everything. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure what is his religious background, but he's
He
probably part of the shadow government, I think.
is Doctor Illuminati. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm spiritualist, but I lean more towards the Buddhism side of things, the Hinduism side of things. So I guess we can all talk about stuff openly, but again, religion is a very big topic. When it comes to that, I suppose it's got to be what about the religion are we talking about, as opposed to religion A is right versus religion B. Then no lah, then that's not going to be
Oh,
effective.
oh no lah, no lah. That has to be according to your faith lah.
Yeah.
In that sense.
UAP, UFO, it might even be a case where an entire freaking season, right? The 12 episodes
Huh?
is all about disclosure and UFOs and the unclassified topics. If you're going down
Yeah.
that route.
Sure, you could.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, if we are going into religion, the only apocryphal that I know
Yeah.
would be, Book of Enoch, the Solomon books, which I think would also be another whole set of deep dives.
Yeah. Damien9060 says we should talk to Ben Cole, who specializes in worshipping Belial. Damien also happened to be a confessor on our show. His confession is not out yet. But Damien has a very interesting story about how he spoke with Lucifer. And
Wow.
yes, so strange world indeed, guys. Jerryfish, thank you for your comment saying, Eugene, your minister voice getting better. Huh?
Hey,
Vote vice
it's
chief.
actually
What?
in the National Library, his book,
Who? Benko?
Banco, the Black Book of Belial.
Okay lah. Let's go and find him.
Ah, yet another new thing to read.
Yeah. Okay. I guess this is a question for Dr. Yong from Chia Hao. I always wondered, are ghosts linked to bacteria or they use them to move in this world?
Ooh. Never got that question phrased in this way. Yeah, I'm actually not sure how to answer that. Well, if we look at the life forms on Earth, right, we have the plant kingdom, fungi, animals, the eukaryotes, the prokaryotes, and also viruses. Yeah, they are classified as living things. So I think I missed one group over there, but don't mind me. Yeah, so in terms of ghosts, if we say that ghosts linked to bacteria, perhaps could we say that ghosts are linked to fungi or viruses? I'm not sure whether I don't really actually see the link, but you could comment more. Or this was a previous comment, right? So I'm not quite sure where to go around that topic. Yeah.
Okay, I went to go and search. Okay, so apparently bacteria has its own electromagnetic field.
Mhm.
So
As
that's
to every other
interesting.
thing.
Yeah, so they produce biological activity and they also cause electromagnetic fluctuations. And apparently, certain bacteria like geobacter interact with metals and minerals underground, creating earth batteries.
Wow.
So that's one. And then, okay, let me scroll through my internet. I think that there's
Oh,
some
okay.
interesting stuff.
Then
Okay,
I think I see the angle already, as in this bacteria, by creating the electromagnetic fields, they behave like an entity when we talk about thermodynamics in
Oh,
that
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Perhaps,
because
yeah.
another thing is that bacteria like mold and fungi also can cause hallucinations, anxiety, paranoia, dizziness, and confusion, which might cause people to mistake them as ghostly sightings or even evil presences. Like, when they say, "Oh, I there's a bad feeling or there's a bad vibe here," it could be bacteria or mycotoxin.
that's the most
Mm.
anticlimactic example. Guys, I think I saw a ghost. Don't worry, guys. It's just a bacteria. What
It's just
the
mold.
fuck?
I mean, it makes
Um,
sense, ma. You go haunted house. How much mold is
Yeah,
in the abandoned house, man?
yeah. That's true. That's true.
um, I will add on that, bacteria.
Yeah.
Just now we talked about. Sorry, I think my internet popped off. So bacteria, if it causes sepsis, it can cause the hallucinations, delusions. But bacteria are very very interesting. So when you're in their body, right,
Yeah.
we have a lots of bacteria. Our bacteria in our body, in our gut, is equivalent to the number of cells that we have, our own organic cells, and the bacterial cells. There's an equal amount. Okay, so that's pretty stunning. The second thing, if is the bacteria is pathogenic, say Streptococcus pyogenes, for example, it can rest in your mouth or in any of your organs, and they have this. They are actually very smart, so they don't waste energy to become pathogenic and waste all their resources to create problems until they hit a certain number. So they call it a quorum sensing, where if I know that say I'm a Streptococcus pyogenes and I have 50 other buddies around, I know this is time we can wreak havoc. That's when we release toxins together. Not to answer the question directly, but just to bring that insight that bacteria are in their way intelligent. Um, we have a lot of commensals on our skin, in our mouth, inside our gut. We have probiotics, good bacteria. So, um, yeah, in that sense, it sort of makes it pretty interesting to consider what bacteria can do and what can they induce. But I don't have a straight answer to that question. Yeah.
I think Dr. Yong and Jia Hao might have inevitably solved one of the supernatural explanation for why Chinese believe that when you want to see the ghost, you take the dog's tears and you rub your eyes. Because the
Oh, those
bacteria
bacteria.
from the dog's eyes will go to your eyes and then you can see. So it's because of the bacteria. That's why you see ghosts.
Oh no, this is what people got third eye means their face very dirty. Yeah. No lah.
I wonder if you can take
Yeah.
a Yakult and then you try
You,
and dip and put it so you can see things around.
Oh my
Got a
god.
lot, millions of
Yeah.
bacteria in this.
you go make your own kefir and then put.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And this brings, but this idea brings up something interesting.
Yeah.
So before we knew about bacteria, right? And in the was it the 1500s, we talked about the bad
Yeah.
humors being air, air, the water, and everything. And when we did not have microscopy, we could not identify bacteria. We blame diseases, or the medical profession blame diseases on bad humors, which is um, perhaps entities.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question just came up from Jerry Fish. This one is a random question for the gentleman here. Since religion was mentioned, where do the gods, deities go? Should people forget about them? Ah, this one I can answer. They 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 go into stasis. They go into stasis because energy cannot be destroyed, right? So they go into a dormant state until someone believes in them again, and then it's like a plant to soil, and then they start to germinate again, and then that's how the belief starts. So some of these ancient gods, they're just there in stasis, waiting for someone to believe and call upon them before they appear. Um, there's some also believe that there's also transference of energy. So some of these gods can actually fall back to world and become human, and then you have to earn your way back up. So that's what I believe. And obviously, there's no science to this. It's a matter of how we perceive it. So I throw these questions over to Dr. Yong and Mary Mike. What's your take on it?
Eugene's second example sounds like Hercules. Travel back to the world to earn your standing. Yeah. The first one is a theory I sort of have a slight inkling of, but I don't know enough. It will be interesting to be able to have that oversight and see. You will be able to see millennia before coming up with that conclusion. I believe that will be very interesting. What about you, Mike?
Well, I would say that they probably go through rebranding
Mhm.
because I mean, if you look through the different cycles of humans and the different eras and the different phases, right? Like, for example, Zeus is also known as Jupiter when you transfer from Greek to Roman,
Yeah.
and like I think they like I don't know because I think human beings are very interesting, where they don't understand something or where they feel like there's something that needs an explanation, correct, to rest their minds. They sort of kind of come up with stuff. And I feel like where one god or one belief has been forgotten over generations, perhaps, it comes back again in another form. Which is why, like, even today, the different variations of the vampire, we've got so many different kinds now.
No,
we
no,
went
that's no. I'm sorry. Uh, Edward Cullen does not count as a vampire. Okay, there's no different kinds of vampire there. Oh, the pain.
No, dude, I'm pretty sure, like, by now, you have to accept that it is going to be what it is.
No, no, the painful experience. I got conned into going on Twilight. This girl called Linda Ng. That's her name. Okay, Linda Ng
Uh-huh.
told me, "Hey, you wanna go and catch a movie with me?" I'm like, this girl's like all about her romance, everything. I said, no, I don't want. She says, it's vampires. I'm like, oh, sure. They says, I said, what's the title? It says Twilight. I was like, okay, that's a very vampire tone. Then I was watching through this whole show. I was like cringing in pain already. And then it's like he's going up
Which,
onto the rock, and he's like, I'm now going to reveal myself. I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. Let's see how this vampire reveals himself. And he steps up into the sunlight, and he sparkles. I died. I died that day. The relationship died along with that as well.
I feel like that was how she wanted to break up with you, lah, if anything.
Yeah. It's like make me the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
All right. Doremi, asking, are we going to look at remote viewing? We have not touched on remote viewing specifically, but if you go and tune in next week and the week after, we are talking about NDE, near-death experience, that kind of link a little bit in this description to remote viewing. So we touch a little bit on that, but not very much in depth. We might cover it at a later date. Gentlemen, one more question. This is from Jade Moore 7282, commenting on the second episode of Strange World. She said, "This episode did not disappoint. I went to look at melatonin and DMT. Who knew that DMT plus carbon dioxide equals melatonin? So when you take one carbon and two oxygen out of melatonin, you get DMT. What? Is this suggestive of the relationship of the lower CO2 levels in our blood when we are sleeping or meditating and DMT in our body? Is this why we tend to dream of departed friends, etc., in our sleep? And the same when we meditate, we can trigger DMT production in the same pathway. I wonder."
What, this one confirm Dr. Yong.
It's a Dr. Young question right there.
Okay.
I'll try my best. No guarantees. When we go for chemical formulas, right? So DMT plus CO2 is melatonin. On paper it appears so, but in our body it's not like when we have a lot of CO2. When we stop breathing, we accumulate carbon dioxide. All the DMT in our brains, all the DMT becomes melatonin. It doesn't work that way.
Oh.
But what it says is that we have the building blocks, like amino acids becomes our building blocks for our muscles because it becomes protein. So our melatonin, we have the building block in our body for it to change to DMT, and that's where we get to have our transcendental experience, the DMT is called the spirit molecule, the God molecule, and there are certain ways to trigger it. Certain meditations, breathing techniques, pineal gland activation that you can um, make the process happen. Yeah.
Oh, so that is that why people go for the asphyxiation during sexual intercourse, where they prevent the oxygen from going to the brain, and then they get a high. Does that work the same way?
They they get the high, but I'm not sure whether it changes into DMT. Yeah.
Mm,
Also, so we are banking on the CO2 concept, right?
yeah.
Plausible, but if we looked it up, I think probably we can find certain answers. Yeah.
Is this similar to like the runner's high, the athletes?
Oh, that would be endorphins. That would be
Oh, that's
endorphins.
different.
Because
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
dating this girl the last time, and she's the whole this strangulation thing, and when I did that to her, she started shouting, "Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh my God!" So I think she must have transcend and then seen a higher thing. I think I think that's what it happened that day.
Who are you dating?
Some golf chick, just more than 10 years ago. Anyway, moving on to the next question. We have this one is from episode 3. I'm still a bit confused about the entropy thing. So does it mean that high entropy is a state that could, in a way, influence a low entropy into a state of equilibrium? Because from what I get from the sandcastle analogy, a destroyed sandcastle is a state that the sand wants to be and is working its way to it. Or does high entropy exchange hands? Okay, this one is for you guys. I'm going to pass it on.
I think I think this fella really too much into it lah. But okay, how I will understand it is that um, over time, because entropy is has always has to do with the flow of time, right?
Hmm.
So typically in nature, when things are static and there is nothing else is involved, okay, we call it like a clean setting, correct? Eventually, the sandcastle would sort of degrade itself into chaos. So whether it's the wind, whether it's the water, or whether it's just itself on its own, because even if you pack the sandcastle together, the sand eventually will also sort of like collapse on its own. Eventually, like if you put a what's the camera thing that you do the time speed. See, I can't remember really what that is.
Oh, time lapse.
If you do a time lapse, correct? Yeah, if you do a time lapse on the sandcastle, even in a clean setting, it will eventually disappear on its own.
Maybe
Yeah.
if I'm trying to guess what the person is saying is that the sand in its original state, not the sandcastle, is
Or
where
at least it
things
goes
are.
back to the original state.
Yes, correct. So when we are building a sandcastle, we are creating chaos
Mm.
out of an normal state because it's not normal for sand to be packed together as a sandcastle.
In a way, yes, because
Yeah.
that is it's a unstable. An orderly thing is actually unstable,
Mm,
and disorder is the baseline, or you
yeah.
can put it that way. Yes. And if nature tends to go to its most stable form, that's why the bubble, the round shaped bubble, that's the most stable form. And then energy states, they go to the most stable form. That is the tendency for things to go towards that direction.
So chaos is the state is the natural form.
Typically, yes. Because chaos requires the least amount of
It's not energy to
energy
maintain.
to hold itself together.
Okay, so the next time my son's teacher call me to go to school and say he's very chaotic and misbehaving, I go like, it's just his natural form.
Yeah, but the problem is that infodynamics would tell you
Oh,
otherwise.
I hope the teacher is not as educated as you guys.
What? So,
Okay, some questions coming in from the comment section. I guess this is with regards to the DMT questions that we were talking about. Doremi was asking, is it like ayahuasca?
oh,
Yeah.
I would say it's same, right? Because there's DMT in ayahuasca as well.
So DMT, when ingested, is not very stable. It goes through peripheral enzymatic deactivation. So ayahuasca has a combination of different plants. So certain plants, right, it deactivates our natural enzymes in our body that will degrade DMT. So what happens is that it allows DMT to stay stable in our body longer. Yeah.
Uh, or orgy, orgy iron. Or
Organ Rixin. Yeah, I was staring at his picture for a while.
how do you pronounce it? I see orgy there, and then I stop pronouncing it already. Orgy iron
Yeah,
rigs. Arc reconstructionist practice of all religious worshipping the same deities of the old times. I think, I believe so. I believe so. Like what you mentioned with Jupiter and Satan, right? No, no, Jupiter and who?
Jupiter and Zeus. Zeus and Jupiter. Eh, no what?
No,
This is Zeus and
The Greek and
yeah, lah,
the
Zeus and
Roman gods.
you see lah. Now I also Zeus and Jupiter, correct? Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, the pantheons do repeat themselves through different timelines.
Correct.
What I believe is that sometimes the omnipotent, omnipowerful being, right, is a bit hard to comprehend. But when you split that divine being into different aspects where we could see, oh, this represents justice, this represents love, it becomes easier for our small brains to comprehend and digest.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
you come to a topic that I always argue with my wife. Okay, I give you the context. Okay, so it's very interesting in my family. Cause so for me personally, I'm Christian, and I mean, I come from when I was born into a family like that. So that is all I knew. So my wife is Buddhist, and unfortunately for me, I've grown to be a very rebellious kind of a person. So when we were even until today when we discuss this, right? Correct. I always answer this question. I always say like um if if you notice, correct, the way the way the mechanics of faith works doesn't always make sense, whereas Buddhism has a certain level of humanity logic behind it. So you have to forgive me if I'm ignorant, because in this area I'm very ignorant about Buddhism. I just look at it as a belief whereby, okay, when you go to the temples, right, all the gods and the deities all have guardians or got bodyguards and so on and so forth, right? And for me, the way I see it is that, okay, all this is logical. Like when it becomes logical, the question is it man-made? Because if I were to believe in a god, let's say let's say if a god truly exists,
Mm.
it would make sense to me that a god cannot be logical. Because if an entity that exists outside of creation itself, correct, would have a higher understanding, a a, a, a much wider view of the entire universe than if we were to try to make everything make sense with our own little human minds. So that's my argument with her all the time.
Well, I guess if we are going that gods are not logical, then that's all the evidence we need that women are gods.
Yes, that is also true. That is also
Athena.
true. Yeah, lah, yeah, lah. So this one, so this one is okay. I'm not going to say like, oh, I believe in this because therefore mine is correct and then others are wrong. I'm just kind of like, I always like to throw her this kind of a discussion
Yeah.
whereby, if we are believing in a god, correct, or if you are believing in a deity, would it make sense? Would it make more sense that the deity does not operate on human logic or human rules or human
But aren't
understanding?
we created in their image?
Correct, but we are also, it's like, okay, we are created in an image. We are like the software in a computer where the developer is not bound to the rules of the software, whereas we are bound to the rules of the operating system. That's how I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. However, in the just now you mentioned, right, there is
Mm.
this pantheon of different things. I think that is
Uh,
more Taoist rather than Buddhist per se.
Okay,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, that's
What
why I
do you?
say I just say I'm very ignorant. It's not that I'm ignorant. It's just that there's just so many things.
Oh,
Yeah, like, but I
okay.
agree. Correct, correct. I can't say that I my knowledge is
Okay.
100% on
So
this. Yeah.
orgy again. Origin.
Yeah.
Are there
Yeah.
Ghanaian witches here in Southeast Asia? Wasn't he influenced by Southeast Asian all religions when he used to work here? I have no idea about this. You guys want to Google this up?
Because it's Gardini. I didn't know the
Gardenia
bread.
bread lah. Can we just quickly Google that shit up and see what it is about? Because I have no idea how to reply this. But we want to
Oh,
see whether we can give our 2 cents on that. Um, okay, going on to other questions now before we come back, circle back to that again. Damien says these parts are very powerful amulets against spirits that you're not supposed to bring into temples as they disturb the gods. Doraemon, okay, that's all. Okay, Orgy again. Is asking, have you experienced or received Shaktipat? Shaktipat.
Yeah. Shaktipat. Shaktipat. Yeah. Mike and Eugene. Yeah, for me, and then maybe I'll go first.
wow,
So,
不会啊that one.
yeah, after I achieved my Kundalini awakening, I have given Shaktipat once. So a Shaktipat is like in Reiki terms, it's like attunement. In other terms, it's like the guru. It helps the disciple. Previously you need to do this for like 20 years. With this guru's touch, you shorten it to 2 years, something like that. So that's how I understand Shaktipat. So I have given it once, and it's like an energy exchange. However, there is a physical phenomenon afterwards. Yeah, that was my experience.
I did not know the word is called Shaktipat. I always use the word initiation, if that's the same thing. Initiation through a guru or through a mentor to open up the lineage to pass on that either remotely or in person or through a ritual. Is that the same as a Shaktipat?
I would say my understanding is probably incomplete. What I see is that it's a transfer of like energy so that it hastens their maturation process or their growth. Yeah.
Okay. Then to answer Orgy's question, I have, if I understand Shaktipat correctly, there were 3 times where I had an initiation that escalated the process of awakening and thus receiving the ordination of the lineage that I'm practicing under. So let me know if I'm right, Orgy, or if I'm way off the mark. Yeah, just doing my best to answer.
Okay, I got information on the gut. It's called Gardnerian Wicca. Okay, so it's the oldest and most influential form of modern Wicca, founded by this guy called Gerald Gardner in the 1950s. Okay, so this coven-based tradition blends like British folklore, ceremonial magic, and pagan spiritualism. So it is still considered a mystery religion, and you cannot just claim to be a Gardnerian Wiccan. You have to be initiated by an existing coven. And okay, so worship centers around one goddess and a god, and there are strict rules and a lot of other stuff. But I think the interesting part that people want to know is that there is apparently a Southeast Asian movement, and that there is also an emerging Wiccan community right here in Singapore at Geylang Road.
Oh, shall we go and knock on their door and ask them?
Hold on,
Give me the address. Go and cut paste into the WhatsApp. Let me go and if I don't ever come out alive, you know that I've been sacrificed.
yeah, well, to the straw man.
Or maybe they sell me the whole, sexual mass orgy thing to join their covenant.
Let
To
me
join
see.
our covenant, you must sleep with 10 of my sisters. Ooh.
Usually volunteers.
Sekali the same.
Take one for the team, guys.
Hey, it's Sekali is the same name as the. Okay, look at this. This Wiccan. What's it called? This page called Wicca.sg is run by this person called Ray Ann Riviera, a seasoned Singaporean Wiccan.
Okay. No, that's an entire area that I have no knowledge about, the western side of magic, and it's it's a lot to learn. I think the eastern side is dying already. I'm just into a rabbit hole. They throw in the weekend side of things. I can never finish in time. So, Audrey, if you like to come on the show and speak about this, we would love to have you. My number
Yeah.
is 9459 4931, or drop me a text in the comment section, and I'm sure someone out there will give you my number. Okay. Uh, Oh, is there okay? Someone says the branch. Damien said a branch of magic is called chaos magic. Jerry Fish says my personal thoughts is also when building something stable, we would need to work. Okay, I think this is about the entropy comment.
Uh,
Um, Jerry Fish says his thoughts is that when building something stable, we would need to do the work, heat plus kinetic energy, which creates more instability to the world than the stability we do in the sandcastle.
yeah, I think I saw one comment about that that we should not be the only one that exists. And then here we go by Pixel Gun Boy. I think by now you'll be truly ignorant to believe that we are the only form of life in this
Oh
universe.
yeah, yeah,
And Pixel Boy is very correct. The
yeah.
problem we are is that when do we exist in relation to all the other forms of life that once existed? But that's what I love because I personally believe that there were larger, more interesting life forms before us.
Mm.
You know, they helped to build the pyramids.
So I can talk about that all day too. There's a lot of comments that came in. Let's try to catch up with all the comments that people have been posting.
Uh,
Crystal Ang asking Dr. KY, you mentioned this Omni thing. I really did not catch it. Are you referring to God? Omni thing. What's the
I,
Omni thing that you mentioned?
I have no idea.
Okay, no
uh,
idea.
yeah, Mike, any idea?
Omi.
Umi sushi, no.
Making me
wow, I don't
hungry.
know. We went quite through.
Okay,
Yeah.
Doraemon says it's been observed that there seems to be some similarities between Hindu and Mesoamerican gods. Ooh, so like the Mayans and the Hindu, there could be the same god in different timeline, different cultural skin. Yeah, I think that's very likely possible as well. And also, I think with the Mayan gods and other gods around the world, uh, in the origin story, they tend to have very similar description but different names. Exotic Finn saying, I believe there are multiple realms coexisting with ours. Time to time, there are some crossovers. Totally,
Yes,
totally.
I have ever read up before that apparently aliens have abducted uh human beings and then put them back. And apparently what how they are traveling though suggests that they are not exactly from outer space, but they are actually traversing between dimensions to take people and then putting them back.
Hey.
So yes, you're right. There are
Vic,
many dimensions existing at one time.
Victor Hin is saying Eugene just became enemy of the women. No, Eugene called women gods, so how it can be enemy? Pixel Gun Boy. Okay, I think that's what you mentioned. You read just now. Tok Kyong say, I believe in the multiverse or in the MCU and DCU exist.
Not fun line doesn't exist.
Dr. Mariam Z official says can explore God in Islam, which is kind of fit the description that God is not defined by the rules of His creation. With regards to the comment that you make that God as a designer does not play by the same rules as us, the humans that is made in His image on Earth.
Developer and the software. Yeah,
Wow,
what
wow.
Mike said.
Where's this again? Where's that going to find?
Dr. Mariam Z official. Exotic Fins SG says every religion have their own depiction of God. No religion is greater than another. Everyone's believed to their own. But what still baffles me is that in Hinduism, they managed to know about other planets long before the creation of spaceships, and space travel. I guess that also goes the same with a lot of ancient civilization that knew about our constellation, our stars, way before we had spaceship to explore, telescope to explore the space around us. Is that because ancient gods came down to impart their knowledge to humans?
Or perhaps is it because they had nothing to do and they look at the sky all the time and they see Orion?
All because they download some collective consciousness while they are doing nothing but meditating because there's no handphone, there's no internet.
Akashic
Or you
records.
know, or actually all these beings are the watchers.
I happened to watch SpongeBob SquarePants yesterday.
The one
And
on Netflix, ah.
Netflix, and they were talking about watchers, and they were talking about um, Antonio Banderas was playing a pirate, and he was going on land in outside of the SpongeBob world to retrieve a bottle with a recipe inside, and there's a book that came along with a recipe that he had to take from an ancient place, got onto the boat, and then as he's reading the journal, he wrote some stuff for it. And then the seagulls took the page, tear it, and dropped it into the sea. And that piece of paper, know that that book was written about a past, okay? But when that piece of paper landed onto Bikini Bottom, it triggered an event that created a situation that became the past of the present.
Wow.
So the two
Wow.
timelines are very different. A trigger in the future caused something else that triggers here in the other plane, Bikini Bottom, that then became something in the past of this timeline. And then there were watchers in the show as well. Like SpongeBob designer probably knew something.
Wow.
The same with Simpsons as well. I think Simpsons
Wow.
creator knew they know something. They're just putting it in cartoon and fiction form to hint to us that they know that we know.
Hey man, if
Yeah.
if anything, The Simpsons has been an accurate narrator of the future, lah.
Cannot be
Yeah,
coincidental. Lah.
they predicted so many things already.
They are the new Nostradamus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Ixtal Rebel says, I think it can be dangerous to think that the concept of God or the so-called higher beings should be non-logical. By human
Okay.
standards. I think it can be dangerous to think that the concept of God or the so-called higher beings should be non-logical.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where is
It-
this? Keep up with the comments.
Yeah. I think that's something to unpack as well because the minute we allow gods to be illogical, then that opens up entire Pandora's box of possibilities and is endless. Or
Yeah, I
giving
mean,
giving reasons to things to or giving reason as something as easy as it should not make sense because God. Full stop, right? Yeah.
no. Okay, I give you an example. Okay,
Yeah.
because since this one, since okay, my knowledge lies largely in the Bible, right? Correct. Now you realize, um, in all the Bible stories that you read, right? Correct.
Yeah.
God likes to use the most unassuming, the weirdest choices to bring his people to the next level. So okay, so like for example, okay, uh, a very common story, the story of Moses. We always see Moses as a person who is close to God, correct? But if you look through his history, you look through his lifestyle, right? Correct. He, in terms of um, how the Israelites were looked at him, correct? He would have been a traitor. Think about it.
Uh-huh.
He is a guy who somehow, although he's a Jew, managed to live in riches. And then after he left Egypt, he came back. He is the same guy who's saying, like, y'all must follow me. I get y'all out. But I'm also the same fellow who never lived a slave's life. You notice that?
Sounds hypocritical lah.
Yeah. But still, God is
Okay,
like,
so
I will choose this fella anyway.
everyone brace yourself for a statement that might get us cancelled, okay? And I trust everyone's mature enough to handle this discussion. So work with me here. In every other common religion that I know in Singapore, even the Taoists and everything, they tend to see Dr. Yong just disappears like I'm not going to be part of this discussion. Okay. Uh, they tend to follow some logic. Some It's almost like the Taoism and the Taoist gods. They tend to make the gods very human-like, human behavior, human position. Even the 7 month, the burning of things. It's almost like the gods, the ghosts, all follow a very human rule. The Hindu gods, on the other hand, they really superhero level. One god can be multiple facets. They can be anywhere at one time. They're not even saying they are close to human at all. Full stop. Right. But the one group that allows gods to be illogical and make sense out of that or accept the non-logical approach is probably the Christians, because they have this fundamental belief that God works in mysterious ways. When they cannot explain it, they fall into God works in mysterious ways, not logical, and that's acceptable. That's a catch-all there.
Yeah, yeah. So that's just one example. And there's so many. Like if even we talk about King David, King David himself, he was the smallest, the most unassuming of all of his brothers.
Yeah.
Even when Jesse, his father, was like putting all of the elder brothers in front of the prophet, correct? Nope. I just want the small little guy.
See, Dr. Tiong is just grinning over there saying, fuck, man, what did I sign up
Walao eh.
for?
No lah, but that's just my take lah. That's just my
Yeah.
take lah. Yeah.
Dr. Young, anything you want to add to that? Or anything you want to incriminate yourself with?
No.
Okay. Pixel Gunboy is saying there are medium-scale universes and large-scale universes. Similarly, as deities who have affinity to these other worlds, the number of high beings is beyond the small capacity of our human mind. So meaning there are different planets, different planes, different dimensions with different gods. And someone also said that Earth is the battleground. Thai boy. People are also talking about non-human intelligence to talk about beings from other worlds, extraterrestrials, cryptoterrestrials, and extraterrestrials, cryptoterrestrials, ultraterrestrials. Wow. Dr. Mariam says that sounds like orang bunyan, transversing dimensions. Dr. You want to give us a bit of breakdown of what bunyans are for those who do not understand that term?
I think in one of the past episodes we mentioned that the Orang Bunyan is one of the invisible beings, usually more petite than us, and they can bring us into their dimension where time passes differently. I think we shared during those episodes, right? And I think the Bunyans are also featured in the Putri Gunung Ledang, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and they were the ones that were instrumental in bringing maybe Eugene you can fill in this part. I think my memory is fading.
I know I describe bunyan very easily like the avatars. They live in a world that is on the other side of Earth, and they are very much into nature, and they are close to the source God essence. Beautiful people, very intelligent, and then humans come over into their world and like tear down their forests, offend them, steal loot from their resource. So, but bunyans have been featured very largely in our own Southeast Asian mythology. The Putris, the mountains, the gunongs, all have something to do with the bunyans. Okay, I'm just quickly going down because there's a lot of statements rather than questions coming up, so I cannot be reading everything, but you guys feel free to go to the chat section and have a read. Angel Ali is asking, is it different game? You think it's always easier for humans to believe in something greater and lean to a fatherly concept outside of us? Different game. Not sure how to answer that. Doreen Meme is asking, not surprised if Spielberg knows things too. External Rebel says, I would like to preface this by saying that I'm a Taoist Buddhist, hence why I shared the comment before. What did Ixel say?
Oh, I think probably the one where I was talking about yeah. I think that was the one where Dr. Yong was also correcting me.
Okay. I think religious beliefs definitely have influence on why I have the POV opinion. Well, sure, no judgment here. Everyone's free to to air their opinions, what they believe in, because we're not trying to force anyone to think in any way or change your mind in any way and form. This is a discussion. Tell us what you think, full stop. That's it. Everyone's mature enough to take home what they want to take home and believe. We're not here to instruct. Dory Meme says any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Arthur C. Clarke. I believe so. I believe that as well.
I think we sort of had this conversation in one of our episodes where science is catching up. We are starting to see that magic has a science behind it, right? Yeah. So this Arthur fella was onto something.
One good way to like plop a modern day handphone in someone from the 1950s, they would say it's magic.
Yeah.
GPS is magic.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think L makes a very good point here. It says the ego is the only part of us that tries to make God a thing of logic because we fear the unknown.
Or perhaps we think that we are as good.
Yeah. So many ways to look around that. Siva Kumaran Nadaraja, focus and fearless unlocks the intelligence of each human mind is the key. Ixter Rebel, going by the assumption that God or higher beings wants us to do good. Yeah.
Is it Ixtal Rebel or Little Rebel?
I don't know. Is this IXTLE?
Okay. No, that's okay.
Yeah. Ixtel, little. If it's little, then it's wrong spelling. What?
Yeah, no, so I was like, okay.
Okay. Okay, so that one is about God being illogical and logical again. I get that. Is the concept of God is logical or not be understood by humans. It can be dangerous because it can be used as a way to manipulate others doing immoral. Yeah.
Okay,
I get that. So I think what Ixtel Rebel is saying that if we are going with the will of God is totally illogical, then let's throw out all the moral values and everything else because we can always fall back to.
Okay, no, point taken,
Yeah.
and I also agree with that, which is why I would say that um, we definitely have our own moral compass to help us to decide whether or not something is right or wrong, lah. I would say.
Jerry Fish says sci-fi view. Gods are also high dimensional beings who understands us lower beings work, how we work, similar to how we can understand 2D world by drawing on a paper and can never understand a 3D world. Our universe is just like sand in the Ganges River. Ooh. Bonio's asking, I like this question. Is it true you can get married to Bunyans? According to the folklore, there have been human people who have married Bunyans before. But it's not easy to marry a Bunyan because you have to be pure of heart, pure of body. Most of us today, in this day and age, are not pure in thought, soul, and anything else, and we will not be able to marry a Bunyan. Which is also why there are sayings that Bunyans do steal children when they are young, under 12, because they are still innocent. So they want to save the children. They bring over to the Bunyan world. The kid will grow up, and then they'll marry a Bunyan. This is also very much in the Western culture. They have things that changeling, right? The concept of fairies in the forest, stealing babies at night. That's the Bunyan.
Wow.
Gerard Tay is asking, how about the American God theory? Have you guys read the book from Neil Gaiman, American Gods?
No, but let's talk about that.
Yeah, okay, so if my memory serves me right, there's gods, all gods are trying to fight with new gods to remain relevant in this modern world. What are the new gods? The god of internet, the god of porn, the god of sex, the god of money, the god of internet, social media fame, right? These are the things that we worship in modern times. And we understand that when we worship something, we deify it. Whatever that we deify become personified into a supreme being. So the internet is personified as a woman, or there's pornography is personified as a woman as well. Then all gods like Loki, who's the guy with the one eye? Odin is all coming back to try to fight off this new god. So there's this war of the gods. Am I right on that? Is that what you're asking? The American God theory?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you did explain it. I was just reading through. Why? That's what I was questioning.
Yeah, God exists because we believe in
Oh,
them and give them power. If nobody believe and remember them, then God is dead. Exactly, that's what I've been saying throughout. A strange world, where I think almost every episode there was some insinuation
yeah.
that the minute we forget about gods, they cease to exist, and there's this push amongst others lesser beings to try to remain relevant in the minds
Mm.
of uh, humans.
Yeah. I think it's converging to AI lah. That's what I would say. This fella, what's his name? Angel Ellie. Yeah, Angel Ellie got it right. The new convergence of all of this, right, is AI.
Maybe, yeah. I think we actually there's a topic of this right. The time I think Mike, you were talking about over drinks with me the other day about how AI might be the new
Yeah.
demon. Some people believe that AI is the
Yeah,
new demon.
correct. Some people believe that the new way to influence people is for demons to possess AI and give them the answers because it's manipulative. Like as time goes by, I mean, I won't be surprised if like in a decade from today, everyone will be using AI as though they were googling for stuff. Yeah, and that becomes perhaps humanity's greatest crutch, lah. Skynet is happening.
And Mary Mike is the first supporter of it.
Yeah, I'm very
Shamelessly
heavily. Yeah.
AIing all the way. Al has a question about disappearing object. Last year in March, I had a wallet disappeared right under my watch and reappeared right under my watch a few days later after wishing for it back audibly. Ooh, I
Nice.
like this. Guys, you want to take this?
His vibrations willed it into existence. As he's what do you say? Right, right under after wishing for it back, lah.
So it went missing, it came back. Or you think it was there all along, like a mandala effect. Only for it not to be there in the first place, but back where it's supposed to be at the right place, right time. You just had a glimpse of the future. I don't know. You could go all convoluted on this one. This is because sci-fi already. Uh, okay.
Well, something happens. I like there have been many times where I forget to bring home my wallet from my workplace, and then when I go back to the office, oh, it's actually here, but I don't ever remember
Okay.
putting it there.
Well,
I don't know.
we got some questions. This let's go back to the questions that we have over the from YouTube portion.
Yeah,
Alvin
correct.
Kloon is asking, how do we know what mantras are young and what are in? How do we identify them? Also, why does supernatural things tend to haunt toilets? Are our discarded young in nature? I'm not sure what energy it is, but maybe I'll check with ChatGPT. So much for the salt.
Oh, when he said discards, what do you think that would
I,
means?
I think
Our
he,
discards.
I think he's talking about toilet, right? So your poop or your pee lah, it's like you.
Okay. Maybe, I don't know. No, it's bacteria lah.
Yeah, toilet got a lot of bacteria, right? So let's go bacteria theory. That's what it is.
Okay, okay.
No, no, no. This is groundbreaking, man. Now we have yin, now we have yang, and now we've got the
Bacteria. Okay, next question by C. Joe, 1950. Adding energy plainly to chaos or disorder is not enough. It is energy with sentient intelligence that is key to constructing order and structure. Else, it's just a Hiroshima bomb leveling everything in sight indiscriminately. Boys, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's with energy with intention that we build, but that doesn't and when that probably the intention no longer and perhaps that applies to the gods, right? When that intention to keep it there no longer, then it just slowly disintegrates. Probably applies to gods as well.
Because everything energy, right? God's also energy, right?
Do you think intention then would be infodynamics at work
Mm.
with energy involved?
Yeah, I would say the intention is part of infodynamics because we carry our thoughts on our intentions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is from Bubble B3L, and it's asking. It says probably a dumb question. I do not think it's a dumb question. Let's handle this. Uh, but would reincarnation be the transformation of energy released from the spirit within the departed? What about transformation of the molecules that made up the physical body? Where do these energies go? They go into atmosphere as part of rain clouds. The rain clouds analogy.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. Let's talk about the molecules part, right? So if you have a freshly cooked plate of char kway teow and you smell it from 2 meters away, it's actually the molecules of the char kway teow reaching your nose and your um the sensory bulb in your nose picking up that chemicals and your brain interprets it as the smell of this food. So that plate, it's the molecules are moving all the time and moving. And the second part is the reincarnation be the transmission of energy released from the spirit within the departed. Uh, hmm. I, hmm. I'm trying to wrap my head around this.
Right? Reincarnation, transformation of energy, release from spirit, correct? What's the transformation of molecules that make up? The transformation of the molecules that make up the body. So that means the body decompose, right?
The body
Burns.
comes.
Then when we get cremated, it just burns, converts to ash lah.
Mm.
Um, so if we are buried, then our body becomes a chemical energy
Mm. So,
fungi, the bacteria that will feed upon our bodies.
Yeah.
They would convert that chemical energy into other forms of energy. Yeah.
Yes. So whether you are buried, because you will be turning to a gaseous state, or you are burned into ash and then you throw into the sea, and then with the water cycle rises. So when you go out there and you stand out there and you face the sky and let the rain wash over you, you imagine that thousands of dead bodies are now covering you.
oh, that's nice. No wonder they always say, don't play in the rain.
Okay.
Thankful for the distillation process where it doesn't carry all the soluble stuff
Yeah.
up there.
So the souls get pulled up to the sky and the clouds, and that's where they go to heaven lah. So when they come down, it's just pure water.
Mm.
Distilled. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. Augustus We, 1940, we reference to the movie The Last Airbender. One who masters any one of the elements or energies can control it beyond its natural behaviors. There's a fifth element that transcends from one who masters all four elements. Therefore, the power of the entity is determined by what was mastered. So this entity, dot dot dot.
Dot, dot, dot.
Hey, why you enough with dot dot dot?
I don't know why you know, but this is a very useful wish. If we can master all the vibrations to manifest what you want, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Let me answer from Avatar, the last abandoned nerd here.
Oh,
So,
nice.
in every element, right? So, if you have fire bending, the second evolution is you can control lightning. Earth bending, the second evolution is you can do lava bending. And if you are a water bender, the next evolution is you can do blood bending. So, you can control people using blood. So, if you are air and you are master at air bending, the second level is you can master the power of flight. Okay, so perhaps this is what he's talking about, the fifth element, the transcends the one who masters all four elements. So who can master all four elements is just the avatar, but the avatar can never have the second evolution. Only the person with one pure form can master the second evolution.
Oh, so you either jack of all trades or master of one lah.
Yeah, perhaps you could say that. Yeah.
Okay lah, that's the check and balance.
I love how nerd we are.
Super avatar fan here.
I only managed to watch what's the other one? The more mature one.
Oh, Korra.
Yeah, I only managed to watch that one.
Yeah.
But I really got the
Korra,
level.
Korra scores a 8 out of then Ang scores 9 out of 10 for me. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
wow.
I should consider just spend a time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so it looks like this Paris
Yeah.
Maitreya is asking us, have the host heard about a tupa? It is a materialized being or thought form, typically in human form, that is created through spiritual practice and intense concentration.
Wow.
Some powerful Tibetan monks can manifest tupas. So I'm going to go
I
and see.
think
Okay, go ahead, go
is
ahead.
that the same as thermas or separate?
Tupa. So, okay, tupa comes from the Tibetan word sprupa, meaning manifestation or emanation.
So you create a actual being using your mind. It materialize
Yeah.
because it was a thought and now it turns into a form because you manifested it.
Yeah. So Buddhist monks believe that highly trained individuals could create mind-made bodies, a form of CD or supernatural ability. The
Wow,
goal was often
interesting.
enlightenment related, such as manifesting a helper for meditation or generating an illusion to teach others. All this Harry Potter stuff, lah. I
I
mean,
remember there was a topic once I read. This is some time back, but that was how homunculus are created by high level practitioners when they create like a that okay the homunculus is a version of a toyo, but it's not created from a dead human fetus or something. It's created from the spit of the practitioner through thought and manifestation, creating something to life. Yeah.
Um, I just wonder this stupas whether it's the same in yogis, the yogis, and if you read like Paramahansa Yogananda's the autobiography of a yogi, he talks about his masters, being one present in the mountains, and the second one manifesting, accompanying the traveler, and then giving him reminders,
Yeah.
and eventually disappearing again. I'm wondering whether that second apparition or the body double is actually a tupa. Yeah,
okay.
It does fall
Tibetan and Vedic
into
spiritual masters, right? They may be
Yeah.
tapping into the same kind of thing.
in fact in more recent pop culture references, uh, there's a term called tulpa mancers, practitioners, and this is modern day people who actually for online communities in 4chan and Reddit lah, so you can get the kind of demographic that we're dealing with.
Uh,
They started manifesting and trying to create uh, actual imaginary friends out of meditation and lucid dreaming. And I think they're trying to manifest My Little Pony to life.
wow, all the things are.
And remember we talk about collective consciousness and collective belief. There's a group of them enough to form a 4chan community that would try to manifest My Little Ponies.
Why not Care Bears? Right?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know. I felt like Care Bears didn't get the same fame as My Little Pony for some reason.
Oh, I think different age group also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's what.
Okay. We got one more. J. Conrad, 8585. Physicism is just a particular set of assumptions about reality. It isn't reality itself.
Physicalism.
Physicalism is merely one worldview out of many. It is by its own assumptions a very limited and limiting type of worldview. Any idea what it's talking about?
No? Oh no. Jay Conrad, you have to give us more.
Okay.
I pulled this out hoping one of you could figure this out. Actually.
I guess okay, so I'm guessing
Okay.
something tangible you believe. Intangible you don't believe.
Okay, perhaps. Yeah. So that would be like
So if
the
everything that you can touch is reality, then it's very limiting lah. Because a lot of things that we
yeah,
are dealing with the sentient
perhaps
cannot be
perhaps.
seen. Yeah.
This would be the Newtonian science going into Einsteinian science, like, as we mentioned before.
So yes, J. Conrad, we are with you on this one. This one. In my humble opinion, this is by Metaversal 8300. In my humble opinion, everything happens everywhere at the same time. Time and space is an illusion. There is no cycle. A movement through cycle takes time. There is no spiral. There is a single point which does not exist. When one understands this, one's perspective of everything is transformed. The essential essence of this state is dispassionate and compassionate at the same time. A paradox? Easier to understand it as being compassionate but detached at the same time. Practically, what does that mean? Live compassionately, be compassionate to yourself and do others, high frequency and vibration. When you are there, learn to protect yourself from energy vampires coming from a spiritual realm. These are magic practitioners alive who have passed on. Final advice: meditate. Lots to unpack here, guys. But I understand what the person is saying, and I believe that Dr. Yong and myself are definitely on this path. I said that what I don't really agree is there is no single point and there's no spiral. I believe time is a spiral. There's a single point and the spiral is true, and then you can go back and forth, which was what I said, I think on episode 3 or episode 4. But again, I don't know. I might be wrong. Maybe there's no spiral at all. Yeah, Dr. Young, anything to say to this?
Personal belief is that although our brains have to understand the passage of time as being one direction, in the transcendental space, time passes in a different way, and I would say that when we are happy and joyful, time passes in a different way as well. Time feels like good times pass so fast, while painful times drag forever. If we could see that, right, is that time can be experienced differently depending on our state. So I'm open to time being exist in a spiral, and time being being able to experience past events in I don't know, perhaps it's a spiral, perhaps it's a loop, perhaps it's a wormhole. I believe it's possible. Yeah.
Okay. Reading from the comment section, there's a lot that has gone by as well. There's this talking about the Tulpa. There's a lady called
Yeah.
Alexandra David Neal, the first European woman who was also an ordained Lama. She actually manifested a traveling companion, or Tulpa, and started as a shadowy being. Gerard Tay says some monks can be in 2 or more places talking to people, yet they are meditating in their temple. Again, our very own Singapore's saint, up in, I can't remember that Malay saint. He was in jail, but he was also seen in town talking and helping people and healing people at the same time. Maitreya says then it took on solid form and began having sinister expression, so she has to unmanifest him away. This happened in the late 19th century. Jerry Finch is saying, I see the word energy used quite a bit, but how do we reconcile things such as consciousness and hantu with energy, which technically means ability to do work? Maybe accept. Oh, I think this covered before, right?
Yeah. No. The upcoming episode.
Upcoming episode. Okay,
Yeah.
Jerry
Yeah.
Fish, check out
Yeah.
for next week, Wednesday, and the week after. We will be talking about that.
A little bit on all those things, but mostly NDE.
Yeah, Crystal Ang is saying religion is like the branches of a tree. There's only one main God. That's the root of the tree. Over time, to save as many people back to heaven, God came down in different forms to save us. What is your take on this? I'll go first on this one, guys. I think it's
Okay.
open to interpretation. I believe there is one source, one maker, one almighty, one supreme being. And I do believe that most religions allude to that one main creator as well. But as we go down in time, the creator spawn different forms, mainly because it is required to deal with humans on a different level. And what we have today is different levels of gods, different heavenly beings, avatars, angels, devas, and down the line, all the way down to earth gods or humans that have been deified. So everyone's doing the good work of bringing human race to a higher consciousness. But if you ask me, is there that one god or many gods? I think it really doesn't matter. I believe it's one God, and we want to go back to source. Whether that source is called a God or we just name it a God because it's convenient, is really more of a human construct.
Just to add on to what Eugene said, is that the God comes in, I would say, messengers of God comes in different forms, and I think we mentioned this before, right? That at different epochs or different periods in times. We have Krishna, we have Jesus, we have Buddha. So, okay, that is not in chronological order, but anyway, they come in at different time periods to lead people into enlightenment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the main point. And I believe that we shouldn't get too obsessed with the messenger, but
Sure.
with the message. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would say that knowing that the universe has existed so many years before us, right? There are definitely many things that have existed even beyond our own understanding, and where we are as the human race, we are limited, or maybe we are still understanding our existence and the limitations of our existence. And the fact that coming to 2025, I think more and more of us are awakening to all of these things that we are discussing. I would say that I wouldn't really put a solid answer to whether or not a singular god exists or there are many. I think that a lot of this is very much open to what we discover on a personal basis. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Jellyfish is also a ATLA fan. This Avatar, the Last Airbender.
High five, high five.
Perry says, I actually believe that in reincarnation, we can be reborn back in any time in history. It means, so again, the time is not linear concept. We can be reincarnated. It doesn't have to be reincarnated in the future. It can be reincarnated back in the past. And I do encourage everyone to catch Presence, the horror movie that's out in cinema now. Presence, it's a not a not a horrific show, but it's a very interesting concept about death and time and where our spirit lies. So I don't want to be a spoiler for you, but it's along the same theme as what Paris Maitreya had said.
Nice.
Okay. Again, with regards to religion and gods, it's like diamond with different facets, but still one diamond. Ipstan says, think of it as a log scale. You can imagine that the energies and don't fully decay to zero. That time passes in human life may seem to be infinite time in past in one. Angel Ellie, I recall Buddha said that he did not see a single point or beginning of incarnation upon his enlightenment, meaning it's beginningless. That which never began to exist can't reach a point to where it ceases. Whee!
Oh, nice.
Deep, deep.
Nice. Okay, we are at 1 hour 30 minutes now, so I'm trying to
Yeah.
complete stuff, right? So this is done. One last question from the YouTube comment section. This is Augustus Wee again, 1940, says, my perspective and understanding of things around me. The librarian kept the information, the administrator sought the information, the controller manages what should release for who, when, and how.
Anyone got comments?
Matrix. It sounds very
This is
matrix
simulation stuff.
simulation stuff, which I think coming from all these comments that people are giving us, right? I feel that Mary Mike, Dr. Yong, if you think that it's suitable, one of this topic before we close the season should be about the simulation universe,
Maybe.
the simulation
Yeah.
theory, and that can last probably 2 episodes.
Yeah.
We end off the season with that.
Okay, yeah. Let's do that. I think it's nice. This season was really introduction to all the concepts that build up the paranormal universe that we understand.
Yeah. And to all our UFO fans out there, the reason we're not covering UFOs is because, or UAPs, sorry, UAPs, because I think it's covered very, very in depth by the Western disclosure community, and they have done a marvelous job digging up all the classified and declassified information that I don't think us here on Strange World can hold a candle to this full-time UFO ufologists, okay? But what we want to bring on Strange World is the little stuff that fell through the crack that no one talks about, that we think are interesting to bring to the surface. Things like some people mentioned the Solomon case, the Anunnakis. I think that might make an appearance in season 2, along with Egyptian mythology, which I'm sure Dr. Yong has a lot to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we close tonight, for our very first AMA session that we thought was only going to last for 1 hour and that no one's going to join us and have any
Yeah.
comments, turns out to be we were pleasantly surprised.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for all the participation and the comments and the questions. We hope they keep coming.
Yeah.
And we'll do another round like this.
Ooh, LTP Stan says Atlantis. I got something to comment on that too. Maybe in the next season.
Yeah, maybe we can do a poll in future, either in Discord or on YouTube again.
Okay.
What the community wants us to look into. Then easier for me.
Okay. Any closing speech from Dr. Yong, Mary Mike, before we say goodnight? And also, guys, you're listening in, leave any of your last minute comments. If anything you want to ask, we may not be able to cover it in tonight's show, but we will definitely maybe address it in future Strange World episodes. Okay, over to you, Dr. Yong.
Mike, you want to go first?
Wow, me I can't really think of anything at the moment.
It's okay to not have anything to close. It's fine.
Yeah,
we have covered quite a bit.
I think I did with the give us more comments. Help me plan the content.
I probably say that welcome everyone to Strange World. Thank you for taking on the ride with us. Sometimes we're not quite sure where the next journey will lead us to, but it's an exciting journey, to have Eugene, Mike, together with me, driving this UAPs into the future and to go into the unknown. Sorry, and the last part I'm actually a bit zonked out. It has been a long day, so sorry about that.
No worries.
Try my best to keep up.
Yeah, okay. AI, our AI who's been helping has something to say. Okay, so I'm just gonna read it out. If physicalism holds true, then even our deepest mysteries, ghosts, gods, and the self, are just echoes of matter in motion, waiting to be understood.
Shit, this AI is making us look bad.
Yeah.
No I've been training it.
Yeah. Once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us throughout this whole 1.5 hour. I've seen the numbers; it has not been dropping. You guys have stayed on for 90 minutes with us. Thank you so much. On behalf of Dr. Yong, Mary Mike, we want to thank you for being with us, and please do join us next week. It will be episode 7, episode 8, and then perhaps into the Matrix as we end up the season. Thank you and good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
What did you find? You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.